Well, that geezer in a Porsche GT4 just made a nice end to my mum. Flew for its MOT. It failed its MOT for one thing: emissions. So Adrian's with me. Those of you are asking for an update on the MGB, it is going off to, I think it's called CM Customs, I think it was, who specialise in setting up engine swap cars. They do all the mechanicals get run right, then they've got someone that comes down and tunes them, and the person they've got coming down is familiar with the ME electronics ECU I've got in the car. It's just one of those things where it's going to be quicker and easier to have someone set it up who knows what they're doing, so I can have a turnkey fun car and I can go around and just do a bit more tarting up on it, probably update the interior. But yeah, I just want a turnkey car that we can get and have some fun in. So Adrian's going to drop that off for me, and as I get updates from them, they have said that they are really busy at the moment, but if I drop it off now, they'll try and fit it in between things, and then they've got to wait for their tuner to come down. So I don't think we're going to update for a month or so on it, but I'll keep you updated as and when I can. So here is the little Clio, picked up from our subscribers last night. I've driven it home and then back into work again today. Drives absolutely brilliantly. I need to check the engine size. I'm sure it's a 1.2 turbo, but it goes really, really well. And I noticed there's an RS button inside the car, which means that the auto box drops and holds the revs higher. And it really does fly along then. I was really quite impressed with it. Nice colour. Like I say, it's a GT line one. So it's got all the bells and whistles on it. Got these nice alloys. You got the different colour wing mirror caps. You got trim down the bottom there. You got keyless entry, sport seats. Keyless entry, yeah. You got sport seats, cruise control, Bluetooth. You've got paddle shift there. You've got TomTom sat nav. There's the RS button I was talking about down there. It does seem to make quite a difference. It really shifts along then. I know the 1.2s without the turbos are quite rubbish. It's got a Renault Sport badging on the dashboard there. I imagine this is pretty rare in this spec. You've got the aluminium pedals down there. I can't imagine there were too many of these in this spec. Someone might correct me on that. All round electric windows, electric mirrors, auto fold. Really nice condition inside. Really nice condition. There is some body work to do. Now unfortunately this is another family member's passed away, unfortunately. This is the reason this car's come across my way. They had it from new, I believe. It's a one owner from new, brand new. It's only, what was the mileage again? It keeps locking itself, doesn't it? What was the mileage again? The mileage was 48,000 miles, so nice low mileage on it as well. There is some bits and bobs on the bodywork to do. It's not too bad down this side, along here. But when we get to the other side, there's some curbing on the alloys. Now it's only on the very edge of the alloys, and I think whoever gets the car again is likely to do the same. So I'm tempted to get some of those protectors, because they will cover those marks and also give the next person some protection on the alloy wheels, because they are quite close to the side of the tyre here, and they're going to be the first thing you hit when you go to a curb. Avon's on it, Avon tyres. Yeah, so we've got a ding up here, which I think is a PDI ding, if I can get a blooming PDI guy out. I don't think that needs paint. In an ideal world it wouldn't have paint. There's a tiny one this there, which for this age I'd live with that one, but that one I'd probably want to get out. Then on this quarter there's a ding in the arch here, which does go into the corner of this bumper and take some paint off down there, so we'd probably do that corner there. It's not outrageous by any stretch of the imagination. I think there was another ding on a door that was possibly PDI repair. Oh yeah, over here in front of this one. Quite a sharp ding there. I don't know if we'll get away with PDI on that. That might need a bit of paint there. But no, overall nice colour, nice spec, drives lovely. Service history is full, absolutely full service history. And unfortunately for him, there seems to be a misdiagnosis on the gearbox, and he spent an absolute fortune. Let me see if I can get the paperwork to show you. Yeah, he spent an absolute fortune on the gearbox. So he spent an absolute fortune on the gearbox, and the story I was told with it is he had a problem with the gearbox not working properly, so he took it down and said, can you have a look at it? And they said, it's the gearbox computer. So they did that, charged him £819 for it, but apparently it still wasn't working properly. So they then decided that it needed a clutch pack. So they put a clutch pack in it at a cost of £2,372. Now, those of you that watch Shifting Metal will know he had a return on an automatic Corsa recently, and they had some problems with the gearbox. And do you remember what fixed it? Maybe put it in the comments down below if you do remember. Well, it turned out that a new battery sorted it. The old battery was too low voltage wise, and guess what? In the end, after doing all that, they replaced the battery and it worked fine. So this car has had a brand new gearbox ECU and a full clutch pack. So that gearbox and clutches is pretty much close to new as you can get. What was the mileage on the car at the time? It was 43,000 miles. 43,000 miles. So it's done like 5,000 miles since that was all done. I do feel for the guy, I really do, and I know the family did as well. I think they're possibly a case of misdiagnosis there. I can't imagine the car needed an ECU and it needed a clutch kit and it needed a new battery at the same time. Only one of those things would have been a guilty party, wouldn't it? So again, massive thanks to our subscribers for thinking of me when it came to selling the car. They were local, nice and local, so I was actually able to go and meet them, see this one, have a look over it, and negotiate a deal that everyone was happy on. Now, the subscribers that sold me this car also said, James, you're running the raffle and you're looking for local charities. And you'll see in the last video that I've said that the Torrington Food Bank is now going to be the recipient of the money from the latest raffle, which is the Seat Ibiza over here, the 2000 Fiat Seat Ibiza that we're raffling up. I'll put a link to the raffle in the video description down below. So we're putting that up for a raffle at £2 a ticket, or there's a cash alternative, £2,500 if you don't want the car. But we always have someone, as you know, a charity that we donate some of the proceeds of the raffle to, and we're trying to decide which one to go for. Well, I say the people that had this car and sold me this car work for Torrington Food Bank. And they said if you want somewhere where the money is going to make a real massive difference, that is going to be it, they said, because the same reasons I said to you in the previous video. I've had a look at some of the suggestions people have given me. I've looked into those companies and their turnover, those charities, is millions and millions of pounds. So when we give them £1,500, £2,000, £3,000, it doesn't really impact them. So if we were able to give them anything like we have on the previous raffles, it would make a huge difference to the Torrington Food Bank. And then he started to tell me some stories about working. They both volunteer there, bless them. Brilliant people, absolutely lovely. Anyway, so they both volunteer at the food bank, and they said, yeah, said it'd make a matter. But the thing for me was when they started to tell me about the food bank, I haven't personally volunteered at one, so I'm not obviously seeing the people that come in day in, and they're saying, James, it's teachers, they're saying it's nurses coming in and desperately need help. And we can go through the reasons for why people like that shouldn't have to be in that situation, but the reality is they are, and I can't think of anything worse than not knowing you can feed your family. So I think that would be a fantastic charity to support with this raffle. So it's going to be the Torrington Food Bank, and hopefully we can make a real difference there, and I'm sure we'll get some feedback from those guys as to what we're able to do. They said they get lots of donations, which is great, via the supermarkets, that kind of things, but it tends to be cans of goods all the time. But there's things, simple things, people like sanitary products, so even things like coffee and tea aren't often donated, and they need to really be able to buy those things. So yeah, we can make a big difference with them. So massive thanks again for them for thinking me of the car. I really do appreciate every time someone does that. It was great they were local, like I said, and I got to meet them, and I'm sure this will go to a good home, and hopefully we can with their suggestion as well, help them out with the raffle on the Seat Ibiza. Now, I did go shopping yesterday and buy another 2 cars. So I bought 3 cars in total yesterday. After our Audi sold, we've sold 3 cars in the last day or so, or last 2 days, so we've got 3 back into stock again. So I bought 2 more. I don't know we'll be able to cover those in this video, so the eagle-eyed amongst you may well spot a couple of new purchases kicking around in this lot here. But like I say, if I haven't covered it in this video, I will cover it in the next and go through with you what I've purchased. Mate, I just thought I'd show you my latest purchase. It's the kind of thing you're not really interested in, is it? A GT4 with 4,000 miles on it, previously owned by the Dysons. I can't imagine for a minute you'd be the slightest interested in a bit of a bid on this one, eh? Well, that geezer in a Porsche GT4 just made a nice end to my month, because he just bought the X-Trail. Listen to that. Wow. He's bought the X-Trail and he has bought the Mocha over there. So he is a dealer who gets cars, supercars from all over the place, and that one was a Dyson's car from the Dyson family with only 4,000 miles on it, GT4 Cayman, and he said he was going to come over and see me. I said, you need to bring that Porsche over. So yeah, he's just bought the Mocha and the Qashqai trade from me. We do a bit of business for each other, and I said, look, pop over because I've got quite a lot of stock now, and he gives me a very fair price on the car. And when you add up how much it's going to take me to get these cars prepped and out the door, I wouldn't have made an awful lot more money doing them myself. And after having been off holiday, it made sense to cash in, get a bit more money in the bank, because I've got quite a few other cars coming on the way as well. So yeah, nice end to the month. What a car that was though. Different level of dealer there, guys. So now Pete's done those bits and bobs on the Honda. He's welded that a bit up on the sill. He's put the front brake caliper on, front brake pads. I'm going to get it down and get a fresh MOT on it. Again, not that it's going to make me any more money on it. I'll probably lucky to break even on this one, but I think it needs a fresh MOT to shift now because it's been sitting around a little while, and hopefully knock some of the things that were advisories on the last one off. So the Ford C-Max I sold flew through its MOT, absolutely nothing, no advisories at all. I say it flew through its MOT, it failed its MOT for one thing: emissions. It's the only thing it failed for. The 1.6 diesel failed on emissions, and the guy reckons it needs a regen. So I'm going to see if I can do it here, because I used the MOT centre rather than Moores. Normally the Moores boys would have sorted out the emissions for me, but I used the MOT centre because Moores have got a lot of my work on already at the moment. They don't do any work on cars at all, they just do MOTs. He reckons it needs a regen, so let's see if I can't. I did say, so I just put some additive and drive it hot. He said, no, I think you want to do a proper regen on it. So, and I haven't got time to try it 2 or 3 times, so we'll see if we can get the RTD 900. I think I've only got just a quarter of a tank of fuel. Sometimes it wants to have a certain amount of fuel in it, so I might have to nip out and get a can of fuel to get it to the correct level. But we'll see if we can't get this done here. So just assuming some people might not know the score with diesels, if you drive them short distances, this has only done 54,000 miles on a 2014. If you drive them short distances, the DPF, the diesel particulate filter that gets all the dirt from your exhaust and gathers it all up, it burns it off when the car gets to a certain speed for a certain period of time. If you never get to that speed for a certain period of time, you block the DPF up. You normally get a warning on the dashboard, but sometimes it has to go quite a long way before the warning comes up. So your options are, you can replace the DPF, which is very expensive, and it's normally okay, it's just blocked up from the build up, so you need to get the DPF cleaned out. You can put an additive in your fuel tank like this. So you put that in with your diesel, and you go and take the car for a very hot run, and hopefully that clears it out as well, and then your light will go out on the dash and so forth. The other alternative, which I know a few people on the channel favour, that are mechanics, is to take the DPF off the car and bolt it, turn it up on his end, blank the end off, fill it full of DPF cleaner, off-car DPF cleaner, so it's like this, but even heavier duty. Let it sit for a day or two, then jet wash the thing right out, put it back on the car again. So you've got a few options open to you before you actually pay for it to be done. But the other thing you can do is what's called a forced DPF regen, where you get the car to do that regeneration cycle, even though you're not on the motorway at 60 mile an hour for however long. You can get the car to actually manually go into its DPF mode. So what we're going to do here with the I think I want to do maintenance. Can we do that? What we're going to do here with the, here we go, DPF, is see if we can't do a forced DPF regen, make the DPF regenerate itself while sitting in the car park here. Nothing I've done before. Every time I tried to do it before, the car's had an engine management light on the dashboard that stopped me from doing it. But it won't work if you've got an engine management light on the dashboard. It has to be clear of codes. Hold on, I've got the ignition on. I don't think I have. There we go, I didn't have the ignition on, that's why it wasn't finding the car. So let's go into the DPF process and see what we can do. It should tell us how blocked the DPF is on this. And diesel particulate filter static regeneration, reset diesel particulate learn value. So let's do static regeneration, we're looking for mode 402. Carrot is procedure to regenerate particulate filter. During this procedure, engine speed will increase for a period of time, can take up to 50 minutes. Exhaust gas, tail guide, second generation workshop. Make sure the exhaust extraction is capable of, we've got it outside, so we don't have to worry about that. Use a portable fan for addition if possible. Do it outside the workshop, which we're doing, and there's at least a metre behind us, we're okay. Keep people and stuff away from it. Oh, I said no. Idiot. Right, set the ignition switch to on. Okay. Start the engine. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Do not press the accelerator, brake or clutch pedal during this procedure. Do not leave the vehicle unattended. Press OK to start it. And it'll now tell us if there's a problem that stops us from being able to do the regen. No, it looks like it's going to do it, guys. You can hear it's automatically raising the revs of the engine while it's doing the test. So we'll let it run that and see where we get. Check in with you in a bit. I won't lie, it has got me a bit like a cat on hot tiles while it's doing this, because it says don't leave the car alone. I've got other things I could be getting on with, but they reckon it could take up to 15 minutes. But I've just never done one before, so it does. I'm waiting to see big black plumes of smoke out the back to tell me that it's clearing itself out, but I've not seen anything so far, but I imagine there's a point at which that happens, I guess. So it's brought down the revs now after a long while. I can't remember exactly how long. I have gone in and done a bit of polishing. The report is at 91% on the test for the DPF. I've not really seen anything in the way of smoke coming out the back of the car. Not really at all. Which makes me wonder if possibly it's got a bad injector and is over-fueling rather than actually having a bad DPF. I probably should have done a DPF reading before I did it. I've still got plenty of fuel in it to drive it home and back as well and get it hot tonight and then take it back in for a test tomorrow and see what the score is, but we'll see what the report comes back and says. Right, it's saying that it has completed the check now. It's telling me to turn the ignition to the off position. Sorry, you can't quite see that, can you? There we go. So, try and get up here. Up here, come on. It's up there somewhere. Be up by the steering wheel straight, wouldn't it? A bit off. So it's saying the static regeneration was successful. I don't know what other information it's going to give me. Perhaps we need to do a report on it or something. Do I want to reset its learned values, or do I want to go somewhere else and see if I can do a report on it? Those functions. I don't know if I want to do this or not. After performing this procedure, a static regeneration must not be performed unless instructed to do so by the Simpson hotline. If the DPF learned values are reset, it may be... No, I'll leave that alone. Don't know what that is. Someone told me below whether I should be doing that after a regen. Right, well, we'll get this driven home and back, get it nice and hot, drive it straight into the MOT centre tomorrow and see if we can't get him to do a testing of the emissions on it, see if it's improved. I'll see if the topped on unit has saved my behind.